Welcome back to Grimrock 2. Thornbrains here again.
And I'm not stuffed in your pants as a volleyball.
Yeah. Today we're gonna do... where's my brain at? The pyramid. I can never remember the name of the pyramid because I never look at the map there, but I want to get one thing first. There's a secret that we've been ignoring far too long, and I just need to address it. This is actually a boss fight I could imagine most people missing because I missed it my first playthrough because it's really well hidden. We actually saw this in episode 2, I think. Now we're doing this for an all-important reason, but this arena looks very familiar.
I completely forgot about this.
I never did it until my test playthrough. Now, I use the term boss fight liberally.
Oh, because it's just a bunch of these guys.
Yeah, it's just 4 rocks. Now if you did this early on, it'd be hard, but it's not. I apologize. I delayed it this long because look at the damage range of that. One hit does 150 damage, another 1.
Yeah.
Fuck this. But yeah, there are 2 reasons to do this. One of them is very important, the other is just kinda, you know, a thing we get. Yeah, these are just 4 summon stones. I left it in here because it's a fairly tight arena, and you could get cornered easily if you don't know what's happening. But it's also just kind of a scale to see just how stupidly powerful we've become.
That is something I just noticed, that a lot of the bosses are more or less normal enemies. Except for like a couple of them.
Yeah, we'll see that later on as well, but we did this for a bunch of rocks. Like, this is precisely the reason I fought these guys, because I need rocks for this dungeon. Now, what I thought was in this area was the Tome of Leadership, but I was actually wrong. We actually get something really good here. It's basically a free level up. I don't know why I still have that gun in my inventory. What am I doing?
I never found the ammo for it.
It's pellets. But you need to reload it because...
The revolver? I thought that gun had a clip.
Basically what it does is it has 6 shots, then you have to use the skill reload to reload it. I don't know why it has that, but it does. I think...
That's why it just completely confused me.
I think the thing was they made the revolver as a way to test, you know, charging mechanics for skills in this game. To see if it was viable, because... if you take a look at the revolver, it's not great, and you have really no reason for it to have a clip mechanic. But yeah, now we're actually going to the pyramids. Pyramids are probably one of my favorite places, just because it's got a lot of cool things to it. Got a lot of good gear, good fights, and it's Egyptian stuff. I like Egypt a lot. It's got a lot of cool Egypt-themed stuff here.
It's cool stuff, but man, it gets frustrating at points.
Oh yeah, we're gonna see that today, because this place holds one of the fights that I considered impossible until, like, literally this playthrough. Now, did I already go back and get it or not? Because I know I'm missing an item. Yeah, we need to take a walk back, because we need the Wand of Fear, and I left that behind.
How far behind?
Nexus. So I decided to, you know, go back to the sewers, get stuck underwater, leveling up. Yeah, that pool is actually surprisingly useful, not gonna lie. Being able to just, you know, get more willpower.
You did tweet you eventually figured out why William Scabs gets so much willpower. It's because his name. And the game just knows.
The game's like, oh, you're gonna name him Willpower, huh? I guess you want to play a mage. But yeah, I'm putting a lot of points in critical hit rate, and we're gonna see how exactly useful that is, because man, backstab's pretty good. When it works, at least. Because you wanna hear a really bad joke? 40 damage backstab.
Ouch.
Oh man, backstab is effectively a gamble, but it's well worth it. Yeah, this is why I left the notes here so long ago, because we gotta surrender our good and reliable Moonblade. Later, buddy.
I've got an even better joke for you.
What's...
Successful backstab on enemies with a leech weapon. On mummies.
Oh, man.
Took me forever to figure out that was a bad idea.
I didn't even realize that on my practice playthrough, and when I did, I'm like, oh wow, that makes sense. So here's one of the 3 enemies we're gonna be fighting here. Not gonna lie, I like it a lot. I'm not Indiana Jones, I like snakes. This fight's pretty fun. One of the few enemies that could poison you, and it has a secondary benefit. Food.
Which weighs a crap ton.
Yeah. How does a snake weigh... Taylor, how does it weigh 2.5 kilograms?
Well, I mean, look at the snake. It's huge.
Yeah. Like, that's a huge steak, though. Well, it heals a lot of hunger, so... yeah. Get a lot of mileage out of thrust still, which is pretty good. I'd use it a lot more if we didn't replace it with the Moonblade.
I knew you were poisoned, but then you got damaged and thought, how is that snake hitting you?
Yeah, a lot of the fights in this area are in corridors, which was like a big mantra of Grimrock 1, so a lot of these fights are going to see me initially trying to lure them out to an open area. Also, that's how fast this fight could go. If you're lucky, you could just get a 200 damage thrust and you're like, welp, that happened. Alright, let's cure poison. Who needs a blood dialysis? Sleep is enough. Just gotta sleep, full day.
Sounds about right.
You'll be fine. Who needs anti-venom? I believe anti-venom uses red caps, and I need all of those. This is me not quite getting that I need to do something later for that.
Not quite getting you don't want to stand directly on the trapdoor.
Nah, it's fine. I have pretty good kneecaps.
But will they stay that way is the question.
More or less.
You can drink red water and it'll help.
Delicious red fung... We basically just put a fungus in a blender.
Yeah.
This is a classic mainstay of the Grimrock tradition of throwing stuff to trigger, what's called, trapdoors. But then I realized, wait a minute, I should be going down that pit first. Gotta loot the area, though. I thought there was an item here, but this is the wrong corridor. What do you know? I don't actually go down there yet. My brain.
This is actually a pretty clever puzzle. It relies on you placing the rock in a place where you can actually reach it from the other side.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing that makes you think this was designed to keep people out rather than to keep players busy. Also, it's a good thing I got that rock back because we found a replacement weight. Also, you're probably going to see me pulling up the map a lot because it's pretty easy to get turned around in this level. Like, as much as I like the Egyptian architecture and everything looks cool, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to get turned around. Now I had to get my Moonblade back, because that thing's great.
What was the point of placing it on the sarcophagus?
The puzzle here is, well, we kind of interrupted this because we sequence broke, but once you go to that closed door, you see 2 notes, 2 weapons, and you have to put together that you have to put these gifts on the grave of the individual that they're made for, and you do that by figuring out how many graves are in each area. For example, the Moonblade said, blah blah blah, such and such, this dude was buried with his wife and kid, may they rest in eternity, which means you have to look for the grave with 3 sarcophagi. And for the Fear Staff, it said gold was his only companion, so you would find the one with 1 sarcophagi and a couple items. Because there's actually like no gold in this game. being rather methodical about this because I remember, like, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when I came here earlier and got the wrong necklace from that secret, I'm trying to look for that necklace right now. Like, there is a dexterity necklace in this area, I just got the wrong one.
When you said you got the wrong necklace, I imagine it was like you were getting a gift.
Merry...
And you were just really disappointed.
It's like Merry Christmas, you get this little tiny gold chain. Thanks.
Guess that keeps me from feeling hungry.
That's an iron chain, but okay. Now this is a cool little thing. They did this in Grimrock 1, and I'm glad they brought it back for most of the later levels, but it's a little bit of passive storytelling with the environment. You're gonna see a little bit of, what are they called? It starts with an M. I don't know words. But basically you see art on the wall that tells a story of what happened with this pyramid. And it's relatively interesting. I like what they did here. It explains a little bit of, like, the backstory on how this area was built and the history of the island overall. For that specific one, you saw a bunch of blue-skinned people. Like, I don't know how to describe them as either Egyptians or blue-skinned people. But this island was emitting a wave and they decided to examine it. Also mummies.
Well, I think we know where the blue-skinned people went.
Yeah. Dead. Twice. There was actually 2 mummies in that area, but I figure why show off the other one? It was just one mummy.
No. We need to know if that one has different tactics.
Oh yes, you know, they got flanking maneuvers. They're really smart, as you can see. That one's trying to keep me out. They saw what I did to Dave and his crew. They don't want none of that.
He got put in a timeout, and he's very dedicated to it.
This is my punishment. I think here's about where I realized, wait a minute, I missed something.
You didn't miss that.
Never thought I'd kill a man with a rope.
Makes a little more sense than jumping on him.
Yeah. Well, jumping on them, you kind of snap their neck. With the rope, it's kind of like you put the rope down and you slide down and you telefrag them. And I think that counts for the telefrag achievement because it's not considered falling; it's considered a change of state, kind of like how the wind gates work.
Nice.
Somebody might have to correct me on that because I'm not 100% sure.
I want to hope so.
Telefrag someone with a rope. That's an achievement.
Telefrag question mark?
Grimrock 3. Developers, if you're watching this, Grimrock 3. Yep.
I hope they make it. I'm sure they could crowdfund it if they were at all worried about it.
Yeah, they could probably make do. They've been putting the game on sale a lot recently, so they could be making a lot more money. Especially with how many people have been playing this game since I mentioned it. Holy good... Like, wow. I believe this is a puzzle that's gonna take me a good while to solve because I'm missing an all-important ingredient. By the way, have some Crusaders.
That's the ingredient.
Yes. The ingredient is more dead people. This kind of... You know, now that I think about it, this kind of bugs me. What are 16th century Crusaders doing in an Egyptian pyramid?
Well, like you'd be the only one curious about it.
Yeah, good point. Now I'm making fire bombs because I'm impatient as all hell. And then I forget that these guys are weak to thunder, not fire. Get that out of the way. Now, they too have met the Island Master. Huh. So we're not the only ones that have been through this. So not only has Killigan been through it, an entire, like, squadron of Egyptian explorers have dealt with the Island Master. I don't think they succeeded.
Pretty impressive that only like 4 people made this pyramid.
I know, right? That's pretty hard labor. But yeah, with that air tome, we are effectively immortal against lightning, depending on our gear. And I believe when we go to the graveyard, we'll see that in effect. And it really confuses me. It's so sad seeing all this Crusader gear just lying around unused. Oh, this actually brings up a good point. When I started this LP, like, way back in November, I actually got a PM from a modder who was telling me, like, oh, I'm liking your LP. By the way, I made a mod for this game. You should really try it. It's really fun. And you know when you get the circumstances, you kind of have an air of skepticism. But I'm telling you all right now, it's actually a really good mod. I might do a video, like a quick video on it at the end of this LP just to show it off, because it's got a lot of good ideas. Namely, it has NPCs and a store, which is something that would be really interesting for Grimrock. Like, with all the gear you get, you would think, I'd like to offload some of this shit and probably get something new. And a store mechanic in this game would be really good. But I'll cover that when I discuss the mod. For right now, though, we're going into unexplored territory.
I would think a better, like, just keeping the game how it is, one of the better things you could do with all of the Undead Crusaders is just to upgrade the equipment they have as you go through the game, instead of just them all having the same hatchets and helmets.
Oh yeah, huh? Like, say, the ones you fight at Twin Group Forest would be, like, rusty stuff, and then you eventually start seeing less and less decayed Crusaders and their gear is actually good. So you're just like, oh, this is great. That way we won't have, like, 12 different shields that reduce your maximum HP.
Yeah.
Now, I know that door is a trap, damn it, and I'm trying to figure out how to open it. And I don't realize it until later. Because I believe that door holds a pack of mummies and a pack of rats. This is, like, something I'm actually really glad about. Like, the fights in this area are somewhat repetitive, but at least they follow a theme. They're not like other areas where just like, wait, why am I fighting a crab in a weird dungeon? That doesn't make a lot of sense. But here, this makes sense. Like, it's ancient Egypt, you're fighting mummies. What do dead bodies attract? Rats. Makes sense that they would be in a, like, you know, formation.
And giant cobras.
And cobras, you know, they just kind of, you know, worm their way in here in the darkness. Now, I gotta ask something. Did you think that the sarcophagi in this area would spawn enemies?
I was worried that they would.
Because there's
some of them are open.
Yeah, some of them are open, and some of them still have their residence. So I'm sitting there like, ah, no, these are gonna be a trapdoor, aren't they? And surprisingly, and almost sadly enough, they're not. I feel like that would be a really great way to, like, set up a trap. Like, just have the sarcophagi explode or something. Don't tease me like that.
This isn't Fallout.
Oh, you guys.
They're just not special anymore, are they?
They once upon a time they were threatening, but I'm level 19. 18. Semantics.
18 and a half.
Like, yes. I'm legal enough to gamble, come on. But, the average level of this game, I believe, is anywhere between 11 to 13, so I am roughly 5 levels ahead of the expected curve. So even when I'm by my lonesome, I'm still doing a stupid amount of damage.
Yeah, really, though.
There's a button here. This button is important. Don't forget this button. I died to this fight a lot in my practice playthrough. Nah, you open up. This fight's mean. 3 cobras and 2 packs of mummies. Nah, dog. Later, guys.
Wonder if they were prisoners that got sent to this island too.
That would be interesting, though. The fact that they're mummies makes me think that they're actually the original residents, just because their remains were taking the time to be preserved and stuff, you know. Also, warp speed.
Hitting every wall on the way.
Yes.
Yep, I had to do this a lot too.
Yeah. A lot of, like, the cobras are really have a propensity of causing injury and poison. Ugh, it's not fun. The area has a generous amount of heal crystals, luckily, but, ugh, man. You best memorize where they are, because holy crap. See, this is the area right here, which makes me think, man, I'm about to get ambushed, aren't I?
It feels like it.
I'm sitting there thinking, come on, work, stay on the switch. There you go. Now, I don't know if these switches need to be weighed down or not. I think they need to, but I'm not 100% sure, because there is one switch later on that makes me question if they need to be weighed down. In the meantime...
I feel like at least that switch you don't need to.
Yeah. Oh, Vilson's gonna be, you know, helpful. He wants to help. He's a friend. So, yeah.
Is anybody watching?
Time to rob some graves, as I have been known to do. Now, something kind of bugs me about that. Like, it's an area designed to be like, hey, there's a thing down here. You should go down here. But they also put the sarcophagi there, so I'm thinking, is this like an anti-zombie measure? Why would there be a hole in front of these sarcophagi? Just imagine the people that made this area were like, okay, our grandparents have a history of just, you know, coming back from the grave. We have to stop this. What do you think? Hole in the ground.
Well, what if one of them just somehow tips over? What if there's an earthquake?
There's that too. Man, the thing is like right there. I have sticks. I could just, you know, get them. There's a couple puzzles like that in this game that make me think, you know, I have a stick, and the switch is right there. By the way...
When you hold up rocks with your hands, that doesn't count.
That's an interesting thing, too. It's not part of my backpack, so it's not weighing me down. Forearm strength is separate to, you know, encumbrance. Remember that, kids. Yeah, it's right here where I'm missing an item to solve this puzzle. It's a torch. I'm a wizard, damn it. I don't need torches. What is this banal bullshit?
I knew the game would do something like that, so I had at least one person carry just a bag of torches.
Yeah.
Even though I had someone who could cast light.
That's smart. That's something you should do, because there's a lot more torch puzzles. Luckily, this area is designed with, I'd say, just enough torches to get by, even if you didn't prepare like me. Which is smart. You don't design expecting someone to carry in torches from like 2 dungeons ago. That's just dumb. Also, this is me looking for secrets like it's Doom 2 again. This is why I'm never gonna, like, stream or LP something like Doom, because most of my time would just be, you know, crashing into a wall. Well, if I don't know what I'm doing, I don't remember this game from 1980.
That's what I did most of for this game. It teaches you to do that.
Pretty much. Like, the switch placement is methodical. Once you know where the secret switch is, you'll never miss it. But it's so small that when you're just walking along, you don't pay attention to that. So it's really easy to just like miss a little divot in the corner. Now that switch gets us that key, but something's off about this hallway. Why would this hallway be here? There's no enemies here.
Yet.
And turn around, 5 snakes. Man, I was really hoping for something that was like in, it was either Temple of Doom or Last Crusade, where Indiana Jones gets trapped in a pit and there's just a bunch of snakes pouring in and they have to like break open a wall and get out. And I kind of wish there was something like that in this too, because, you know, I just want something cool for Egypt, man. And we will get something cool for Egypt, but I want something like... I want something that reminds me of a puzzle in La Mulana where you had to actively destroy a part of a temple to progress. Also, as I was like, digressing on what I kind of wanted, that secret revealed the mirror shoes, which are again part of the best light armor set in the game. We're not going to be using it, and oddly enough, there's no achievement for it. Like, the only armor sets that have achievements in this game are the crystal set, the meteor set, and for whatever reason, the wizard set. None of the other ones get that. Like, you don't get one for the... You don't get one for the tribal set, the reed set, the mirror set, the rogue set.
I thought you got one for the rogue set.
No, you... Oh, yeah, you do get one for the rogue set. I'm thinking of, You're right, you do get one for the rogue set, but I was thinking of set bonuses. Because the meteor and crystal give you set bonuses. I don't know if Archmage does, but the other armor sets don't. And I feel like all the other ones should have won. Like, rogue set is 6 pieces, man. You should get like 10 dexterity for finding that. That's a steep investment. Because you need like 2 gold keys to get that. And I think I missed an item, so I'm leaving to pick something up. Oh yeah, we got a map a while ago. That's right. Look familiar? By the way, what's the over-under on this being a mimic?
Just kind of expected by this point.
Yeah. My luck. The worst part is that I wasn't even going for this chest for the second harpoon spear. I kind of wanted something to dump items in, and I didn't even get that.
No.
Oh well. Later, spear.
Nobody's gonna take him.
It's like you turn around, there's another set of adventurers doing this. You're just like, oh. Hi.
Also mummies.
We've been solving these puzzles for thousands of years! Wow, you guys are stupid. Like, with some of these puzzles, you would think, if someone spent like, even poor Killigan, who didn't solve all the puzzles, you're like, man, what's wrong with you? Now, this puzzle is devious. I did not fully grasp it until quite recently, but the main gimmick is that the 2 rooms in there affect what trapdoors are available in the main room. However, they don't tell you what orientation it is explicitly. The implicit clue is that wherever the torch is, that is the orientation of where the trapdoors will align.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. It took me a good while to realize that. And it kind of makes sense because, if you just align it north, you'll notice that the torches are, like, facing the same way as you would be when you're looking at the puzzle. But this also means I'm going to be disposing of a couple rocks. Goodbye, friends.
All that I figured it was oriented sort of like mirroring, like it's not when you're facing out into this hallway, but sort of if you turn to the side and walked back to the puzzle room, it's that orientation.
That would have made a lot more sense, but sadly no. I kind of wish it was, because it would be a lot easier to process this. Because look at this. I almost had the puzzle solved. This takes a bit of a while, but like, it's a cool design, but it's also sort of tedious in a way just because of how displaced it is.
Yeah.
And not only that, you also need to open up the path to 4 switches to do this. And I kind of fucked up that last one. And even the trickier thing is that it's not just the 3 switches in there, like the entrance switch also matters.
That's right, and I think for one of them you need to actually remove what's holding down the entrance switch.
Yeah. Now keep in mind, there are actually a lot more permutations for this thing, because I do remember doing this a different way, unlike all my other playthroughs. But yeah, you just gotta, have a good grasp of, what's the term I'm looking for? A good, grasp of, placement, and you'll be able to solve it. But... hole.
Rope.
Now, there is a clue in like any of the other pits you take there. You'll find a clue that says something seems off about this hallway. It's shorter than what it looks like. Maybe my measuring rope is messed up. But if you go to the farthermost set of pits in that area, you will find the secret hallway, which leads to the dexterity amulet that I've been looking for so long. We have found our replacement necklace. The ring can be retired. You also get heal crystal.
Which you have a rope, so you don't need.
Yes. I also have a shield.
It'd be weird, but kind of interesting if you could actually replace, like, you could use a rope to tie off a wound.
Oh, that'd be nice, actually. Also, here's a new enemy. It's a Gorgon. An Egyptian, or not an Egyptian, a Greek mythological monster in Egypt? This is something a little weird about this, but yeah. These things give me no end of a hard time in this game. Because make sure you have that shield up at all times, because I kept this fight here for a reason. The split second I have my shield down.
Yeah, they're basically Medusas.
Yeah. Fuck them. And that's not the only reason why they're threatening. I once considered this area like the hardest area in the game because I forgot that shield. That shield helps a lot. Like, good god, that thing is great, and you should use it more often. Also, here's how powerful Backstab is.
Wow.
Didn't even need to edit that fight. So here's the interesting thing about Backstab. Backstab is innate 3 times damage. That's why I call the 40 damage Backstab a bad joke. But Backstab...
It's not divisible by 3, what the hell?
Yeah, it is. It's 13 damage. But Backstab also considers critical hits. So you can get a critical Backstab with your weapon and do a stupid amount of damage. Like, it happens a lot when I do the big fight that everybody... Oh, here we go. Whoops. When I do the big fight that everybody's been waiting for, you don't see it much because I kind of like turbo speed some of the fights, but I think I achieved a 650 damage Backstab at one point.
Wow.
Which is fucking great, but also shows a poor mechanic in this game. Damage doesn't spill over when you fight clusters of enemies. So if you do 650 damage to a pack of 4 mummies, you're only killing 1. And I just really want something cool that's like that scene from Berserk where you just swing a sword and you take out 3 dudes at once. That'd be great. But no, you don't get that. You have to kill each mummy individually. They have their own health bar. Huh, that was weird. It's almost like I broke my ankles.
Getting back.
So yeah, we're actually doing the puzzle this time, and we've explored basement 1 and floor 1. Also, this dungeon takes a long while, so this dungeon is 3 videos that will be posted all at once, so don't worry, guys. I just didn't want to tie up your time with an hour-long video. I did that with the Crystal Caves and regret it. By the way, there's a poleaxe. Another good weapon. But yeah.
Yeah, this is a long dungeon.
Yeah. Video 2 coming soon.